On today's episode of WatchJRGo, you guys probably remember about a year ago, I started building the ultimate car guy dream garage on my house. And that's a promise that I intend to keep. But there's a lot of work that had to be done to get to that point. So today I'm gonna show you guys what we've been working on for the last 24 hours straight and what gets started here in just a couple of minutes. What is going on, guys? I am WatchJRGo, and today, like I said, we are here to get started on the big final push of the ultimate dream garage. Take a look at this. If you guys remember, about a year ago when we started on the build, this was a two-car garage. It only had this door here, and all of the room over there was absolutely wasted space. And this garage has always been full. From the day I bought the house, if you remember, the first thing we did, we time-lapsed all of this. We ripped out all these built-in shelves that were the most shoddily built things you've ever seen in your life. They were 2x4s, just hacked up all over the place with plywood just screwed to them. And some of the plywood was on hinges. That's really all it was. So we ripped all this out. We replaced the outlets with Decora ones. We added the speakers for the Control 4 system in the garage. We added cameras, the Unify 360. These are the designer ones that you basically can't even see. So cool. Everybody looks around in here for that camera and they can't see it. We added access points. We added all of this lighting. So we added the little 4-inch accent lights, and then we added big work lights here that are dimmable, 0 to 10 volt dimmable on the commercial lighting. We cut the brick, installed a header, and then added this garage door where there was a walk door previously, and put in these awesome garage doors that I love, black on the outside, white on the inside with glass in them. Then I frosted the glass, and we had all the garage doors high lifted with my favorite LiftMaster openers installed. The brand new, I think 8300, whatever the current generation MyQ opener is, with built-in Wi-Fi and battery backup. And that brings us to yesterday morning, where this garage was completely full. I'm gonna show you guys right now what it looked like. It was absolutely packed in here. We had saws and trim and motorcycles and bicycles and all of these workbenches and everything that have been here since I bought the house. The workbenches actually came with the house and they were full of junk from the old owner that I kind of wanted to keep. Turns out I didn't actually want to keep any of it. It was mostly assorted like fasteners, bolts, screws, all kinds of junk, and a lot of it had already been used. We're talking like wood screws that had been removed and stuff like that. So almost all of it went in the iron trailer yesterday, so that's gonna go get disposed of. But we cleaned it all out. It's the first time this garage has ever been empty. We added the Tesla universal wall connector, so you can charge your normal EV with your J1772, and you can charge with NACS if you have a Tesla or, you know, a modern EV, because everybody's heading that direction, I hope. I had the plumbers add hot and cold water and a drain for the sink while they were redoing everything on the house. We left that shelf for now, and that's pretty much the update on the garage. In a couple of minutes, real problems are getting fixed. And this is one of the biggest problems, right? The third garage is kind of unusable. So Eric and I and the brick guys had to cut all this out. We ended up cutting all this out with like an angle grinder after they did the slots. But you can see the walk door used to be right here. And then they kind of cut all this up, and then we used a sledgehammer and a grinder to cut the splats and break them out of there. Now, of course, you could grind this entire entry down if you had one of those big floor grinders that has the wheels and the massive like diamond cutting pads. You could probably smooth this out. But that's not the right thing to do, because a lot of this garage has sunk over the years. You can see where this garage floor used to be, and that is where that paint stops, and there's a nice sharp line. But as we come down into the corner, you can see the entire floor sunk right here. So now it's all angled back towards the house, and it's dropped like 3 inches right there, all the way along the front of the garage. So to fix this entry and stop further water problems, there were a lot of grade issues on the house, and there was only one thing to do, and that was rip it all out. Rip it all out. Every single piece of concrete around this house gets ripped out today. They're supposed to be on their way. They said they'd be here at lunch, so it's about that time. I expect a dingo with a jackhammer and a bunch of bobcats to show up here in just a minute, and they are going to take out every bit of concrete in the garage. The apron right here, they're going to take out this horrible stump that destroyed all the concrete in front of the house right there. And obviously you can see the concrete has dropped there and caused water to, like, if it really rains hard, we'll get some water coming back in. And it will sit right here. You can see the exact outline of the water where it likes to hang out. So that's never fun. It only happens in extremely heavy rains, but all of this is sloped back towards the house. It's gotta get fixed. So today we start on that adventure. This is an incredibly expensive adventure too, taking out all of the concrete. And you can see all of this concrete has grade issues, and it's always had water issues. That's why it just had to be done. Take a look at all this cracking here. I mean, this brings a valley into right there because it all cracked as this settled. So now the water all drains into the middle, so that has to get fixed. Obviously you can see same thing over there. It drains back towards the middle, and then the house slopes out. So all the water is going into that crack and only exacerbating the issues. And when I had all the foundation fixed on the house, they jacked the house back up and did the piers down to bedrock. They took out all of this concrete and then lifted the house back up with piers and did curtain grout over there. So this has been 2 years in the making almost. I think I've had this place about 2 years at this point, and from the beginning, the goal has been to get this project done. Now, the last guys, when they took out this concrete, put it all back there in a pile. So today they're also picking up all that concrete and taking it out of here as well, so it can go get recycled. It turns out you can pretty much dump all the concrete you want at concrete and asphalt plants. They will just take it for free because they grind it all back up and use it. So that's kind of cool. I assume that's what they're gonna do with all this, but we'll find out what they're gonna do when they show up here in a minute with, I assume, dump trucks and bobcats. I saw this company's work. It was beautiful. They were doing another garage floor tear out and re-pour on a very expensive house, and I was just driving past and I was like, that is how I want it done. So I went in there and they were properly pinning and tying up all the fencing and rebar. I was like, that's it. And they also said they pour 6-inch in the garage, which is crazy. I don't think we're gonna put lifts in here. I don't think we need 6-inch, but maybe we put a bin pack auto stacker in the corner right here so we can put 2 cars in this bay. Sounds kind of cool. Anyway, we'll pick up the Dream Garage project when they show up here in just a minute. Also, I have to get every single car out of here because I won't be able to use my driveway. So the Porsche, we already moved a bunch of stuff back there, but the Boxster, the Volt, and the truck are all gonna get shoved in the front yard. It's gonna look really trashy around here for a bit.
A few minutes later.
These boys do not play. And yes, we did dump a bunch of trash on the front porch, out of the garage. A few things we're keeping. But look at dump truck after dump truck of sand. Ooh-wee. Look at that, guys. Crazy. Guys, it's been like 3 minutes. You will not believe how fast they went through all this. It took them, I showed up and we were standing in the front yard having a conversation. I'm telling you, 10 minutes later, they had all of this knocked out with the jackhammer on the Bobcat, of course, and flipped over. And some of this concrete is actually good. Like, look at this. That's 6, 7, almost 8 inches thick right there. Like, that is monstrous, monstrous. And then most of the concrete here is just such an uneven pour, is like maybe 2, maybe 3. We do have some big blocks out here, but let's open up the garage and show you guys what we're really dealing with here. The main door is an error. Out here we have some real concrete. That's 6+ inches thick right there. And then once you go in the garage, where it matters the most, right? Not outside where it's easy to re-pour. Once you go in the garage, barely 2 inches thick on most of it. They were saying 3. And this looks like 3. I'd buy 3. But over here, 2 is a stretch. 2 is a stretch once you get into this stuff. Look at that. There's nothing there. I mean, it's 2 inches. Absolutely crazy how thin all of the concrete was in the garage floor. And they told me it was mostly all floating. There was nothing underneath it. Especially over here on the back of the house, they were like, there was no grade, sand, anything under that concrete. So it had all washed away over the years, and obviously we're gonna fix that right now by solving the grade issues at the same time. So sidewalks out of here, all the driveways out of here, it's all getting repoured, and it's going to be so nice. Tomorrow they bring the dump trucks and they start hauling all this out. So for now, we're done for the night. There's nothing else to show you. We'll just close the garage door and walk away. This garage door is still happy. I don't know why that one is not. I think it's touching that rebar when it gets to the very bottom right there. There you go. That's the update. I'm pumped. I am super excited for the new driveway here. I mean, mostly inside, right? But the rest of this is gonna make life so much better. These boys are killing it. Look at this. They said this is the 4th dump truck out of here today. The 4th dump truck. Wild. Also, their work is way better than the guys that did this concrete like the week we bought the building. If you guys remember, I've had this whole apron and all of that poured, and it's okay, but like it's already pulling back and there's some cracks. You know, there's always gonna be cracks. I know the concrete guy saying, but the work I've seen these guys do is incredible, and the work they did to like fix the base and everything under this was not. So super pumped that this is all getting done right. And I wish I would have paid them to do it all. It's too early to even be awake right now, and they are already pouring concrete. Look at this. I love this step. That's gonna be so nice. It makes it have like a 4-inch drop instead of like the 8 that it used to have. It had a pretty big drop there. But that's the first truck in. It's currently that time. And they are ripping. This is gonna be very cool. Regrading all this. I think this step here is gonna come, obviously this will be straight, and then we're gonna do like a curve right there, and that'll pick up all the concrete that runs out. Here we go. Sick. Let's go on a walk. Got the Western Star. The tree's gone. Man, I should have came out here last night. I didn't even come look at it. We took out all of this concrete, much shorter. So what do we take out here, like 4 or 5 feet, something like that? It just kind of looked like a parking lot behind the house. So we're gonna clean all that up. And then I'm gonna finish this out with pavers. That way it doesn't just have 3 or 8 parking spots, whatever. If you double up the cars, you could stack like 8 back here before. So there we go. I do hate my gutter guy for this. I don't really know how we're gonna solve that problem, but it looks like they're gonna get it. Kind of ridiculous. That should have had a 90 out if he was gonna put it over there, or it should have gone into the concrete and gone over there. And I think that's what we discussed. But you know, it's not what my gutter guy did. It's gonna be awesome. Are you guys kidding me? I had no idea. This must have taken them hours. This is the stump that ruined the concrete. This entire dump trailer. I'm telling you, this is a 12-foot dump trailer. It's the size of a Defender there. Wild. I hope they don't want to haul this off. Like, put it in my burn pile. It'll burn. That's crazy. Also, if you guys need construction, I saw these guys do another floor tear out, like I said, and they were killing it. The only thing I'm a little questionable on, I got the nice new Bobcat, it's sick, But they all drive Dodges. Where are the Fords at? Where are the Fords at? I am infested by Dodges right now. And they're almost all Longhorn Laramies. But they're good specs. Look at this. Like, they did billet wheels on them. Billet dualies. And they're all new. Which is what you need when you're running a job site. It's not a bunch of hacks, you know. All right, y'all, here is the daily update on the concrete situation here. Now, that used to be quite the step up, and they have made it a much smaller step because, as you can see, it'll be about 6 inches from the new concrete to the top of that giant step right there. And we're going to ease that in, so we've got a little bit of design going in there. And then the forms are going to be coming off of the garage here in, I guess, tomorrow. So this looks incredible. What a finish. These guys killed it. They were out here for hours and hours and hours. Wow. I haven't even gotten up close to this yet. I absolutely love it. That is going to be one very smooth floor. They fixed all the imperfections this had. It's dead level. How cool is that? I cannot wait to start painting these walls. This is all formed up. It looks like they went ahead and dug the little ditch here so they can pop up the gutters out here at the end. Everything's pinned. This is awesome. Whew. Well, that's the update. There's really not much else to say. They said they were probably going to bring in more filter, and that's why they haven't picked up this pile of concrete yet, because they bring a dump truck in, empty it out, onto the grass over here, you know, like just dump out a big pad and then dump all the used concrete in there and take it back to get crushed. So there's the update. I'm excited, very excited about all of this. We're making progress, guys. After this, I'm going to put like a cooking station out here with a pergola that's all steel. I'm just going to weld it all up myself and then set some big wedge anchors and toss it in back here. And then time to start on pavers. But I wanted some concrete back here. Oh, they poured that new door threshold too. So nice. Man, hard to find a concrete company that just fixes everything. So cool. Well, I have a mailbox and it is very, very sad. Look at this thing. It's got this big old mailbox, which is honestly pretty cool. I love how big it is. It holds packages, but it's on T-posts and like hacked together with all kinds of terrible hardware. And today we're going to try to make this into a masterpiece. The postman hates, I assume. I mean, they've never said anything about it, but they should. Like, it doesn't even shut. You have to like do this maneuver every single time and all the mail gets wet. Like this thing, I love how big it is. It's one gigantic mailbox, but it's very sad that it lets water in and doesn't shut. And it honestly is just an eyesore, an absolute eyesore. Up here in the rock garden with all the, landscaping around it. We're going to redo all of this. So it is on the short list to have all of this fixed, and I need to get this bush out of here too at some point. But mailbox, oh, so bad. How do they let that fly? I'd complain. Ooh, look, we got a recall today for my truck. Poor truck. I didn't even know 3D mailboxes were a thing until just now, but apparently you can move it wherever you want. All right, let's see if we can pull this thing. Oh, wow. It's not even in the ground. It's been surviving storms like that. Here we go. So I grabbed the cutoff wheel, cut the mailbox off. Zach's got his truck hooked up to the T-post. Oh, man. Oh, look at that. It sheared. We sheared the T-post. Rust in place. Oh, well. We tried hard to wiggle them out, and they were not coming out today. Well, I know we skipped ahead a little bit here, but we've dug a big hole. Zach came over with pulse hole digger, one of the engine powered ones, and we sucked that hole out there. And luckily it's way oversized because it's clearly not straight. And then I grabbed a quickcrete form here, one of the sono tubes, and we are ready to put some dirt in there, sand in there, level this out, and then backfill. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off. So the sono tube's level with the ground, and we're gonna pour a whole platform, I think a 30 by 30 platform. I just didn't want it to move because the mailbox is literally in the ditch, right? So when we get a lot of water, I figured the concrete would settle and move. So that's why I went way overkill with this big sono tube. So let me cut this off with the Sawzall, start our backfill and pushing this thing down in there and get it all leveled out. Well, I missed out on yesterday's updates, but yesterday we finished pouring the mailbox, right? So we've got that quickcrete form that runs like 36, 48 inches down into the ground. I wanted to make sure if anybody ever hit my mailbox with their car was totaled and not my mailbox, right? So we put a real foundation in. Really, I don't want it shifting in the frost, which is very possible because this is a ditch that will fill up with water. So I was like, what do you do to make this not move, right? It has to sit on unlevel ground. We buried that thing deep down in there. So as soon as this is dry, I think we'll give it 2 more days. I'm gonna start building the actual pillar mailbox on top of it. We'll just take the concrete adhesive that you use to build, you know, every retaining wall and start building up from there. So I formed that up yesterday and they poured the concrete for me and gave it a nice little tool finish, which looks very, very good. And yesterday, look at this. This is the greatest EV truck. You know, it's tough to say that when the Silverado EV exists, but this is so much more fun to drive. And I've never seen a range meter drop so slowly. I'm kind of in love with it. I really want to keep it. I stole this from Sullivan Auto House. They've got it for sale. It's an insane deal. And I'm supposed to take it back to them today, and I really kind of want it to stay here. But back to the concrete. This is all ready to pour. I thought it was getting poured this morning, but they said, you know, when the weather's nice, it's hard to get concrete trucks out. And I do believe them. So yesterday, they finished forming all this up. And of course, the garage is fully done now, fully set up, already pinned for the new concrete. The garage is looking amazing, almost cured out. You can see it's going back to its natural color. And then over here, this was yesterday's pour, and we're about to walk on it for the very first time. So luckily, they poured this at 8 a.m. yesterday. I think I can walk on it now safely. I am so excited about this new patio. Woo-hoo! We're gonna put all the concrete steps back so we can use all the doors again. They fixed all the stuff the gutter guys did poorly over there. So now the built-in gutters are much, much better out to their drains, which we haven't had completely finished up yet. But coming off the back of the house, I think I'm gonna do like, I wanna just kind of backfill this with sand up to grade and then do pavers. That way we can have like an actual outdoor area. I just didn't want too much concrete out here. So we shortened it up. We shortened it up by almost 6 feet. I showed you earlier in the video, 4, 5, or 6 feet we took out. And I think this looks a lot more normal. It was just too much concrete, especially once you consider all of this is getting poured, this whole apron out here, and then eventually probably all the way out to the street. So a lot more concrete to go, but for now, whoo, baby, I am loving this. I was just hoping this was getting poured this morning right here, but I just haven't heard from them yet. Usually they start at like 7:30 in the morning without fail. I'm expecting that they'll either start pouring this at lunch today or we're actually on for tomorrow. So either way, this will be ready soon and I can get back to work because at the moment, everything is just shoved in the shop, right? I can barely get in there. We shoved so much stuff in there that came out of the garage and I can't use this for like 7 more days after it's finished anyway. At least that's probably ready to drive on now. It's been, well, they gave it the weekend, right? So it's been at least 5 days since that pour, which means it's about time to drive on it, but we're not even close to driving on this. But with that said, I'm gonna go strip the forms off my mailbox and start packing all the dirt back in around it, cleaning up the ditch where I dumped out all my backfill, and we'll be ready to rock with the mailbox project soon. But I think that's the update for now, right? The next update you guys will see on the Dream Garage build is actually driving on this, I would say. We've got more gravel coming to bring all this up to grade. As soon as the pour is done, we're gonna level all this out again and make the driveway nice temporarily. You know, we kind of have to do something for now so we can actually use the garage, but I think it's gonna look like a brand new house with all this concrete, which I'm super excited about. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. I'm just excited for this. As soon as we get this concrete pour done and hopefully the grade issues addressed where we can push some of this dirt out towards the ditch there, it'll take all the water problems we've ever had and solve them all. So All the cracked concrete's gone. No more water headed towards the house at all. Great slope over here on the back. That's what this was all for. I mean, it might have been ugly, but the real issue was we had to fix every bit of water ingress there could be.